And it's dragons this month, isn't it? Yes. Firestar is very excited about that, aren't you, Firestar? Yes. Well, Firestar has a lot of dragon stories. Yes. And she wants to tell us one today. Which one do we want to tell, Firestar? Draco. Okay. What's the story about Draco like? Well, Draco's a dragon that lives in the sky. Really? Wow. Yes. I think you should tell a story. Okay, all right. Okay, that's no problem. I can tell the story. I like to listen, you see. Okay, right, fine, that's no problem. No problem, Firestar. Okay then, so let's tell the story of Draco the dragon. Excellent. A long time ago, in a village not too far from here, there was, up in the mountains surrounding that village, a deep pond. In that pond lived a dragon. There, Firestar. A knucker dragon. Oh, a knucker dragon. What's a knucker dragon? They live in deep, dark ponds. Right, okay then. So, a knucker dragon living in a deep, dark pond. And each night the villagers could see the steam rising from the pond. They could. And it worried them. And what worried them even more is the dragon would come out of the pond and shake himself off, and he'd fly down into the village, and he'd make such a terrible, terrible noise. He would frighten all of the villagers, yeah. And then, once he'd finished that, he would fly up into the sky, circling round and round the different villages, as if he was looking for something, wasn't he? As if he was looking for something. But the villagers, they just got scared. They thought he wanted to eat them, didn't he, Firestar? Yes. They didn't know what to do. Every night when they saw the dragon go up into the sky, and they'd see all the diamonds studded in his back. And all those diamonds, they looked like tiny stars. And they thought that he belonged to the stars. They weren't quite sure where he came from. But he'd made that pond his home, and there was no telling him to go home, was there? No. Because they tried it many times. They'd sent knights and many heroes up there with sharp, pointy sticks to try and poke him out of his hole and back up into the sky, but it didn't work, did it? No, it didn't work. In fact, it just made Draco even angrier, because wouldn't it make you cross if somebody came and poked you with a sharp stick? It would, yeah. Firestar said, yeah, definitely. So what were the villagers to do? Every night the dragon would come down from the hills, scare all the villagers, and they'd all run this way and that, not knowing what to do. And there was one person who watched. Wasn't there, Firestar? Yes, what was her name? Selina. Oh, Selina. And what was Selina? She was a baker. A baker. Excellent. Okay, so Selina, the baker in the village, would look up at the sky, and she'd watch Draco, and she'd wonder, what are you looking for? Because she could see that Draco had never, ever eaten a human, ever. No, wouldn't dream of it. He was a very grumpy dragon, but he'd never, ever dream of eating a human. No, no, no. She looked and she thought, I wonder if anybody's actually asked him. Did anybody ask him, Firestar? No, nobody had asked him at all. So, Selina, she got together a plan. She was going to go up to that pond where that knucker dragon was, and she was going to ask him. Now, she's not a silly girl. She knows that if she was to get too close to Draco, then Draco might think that actually she's coming to poke him with a sharp stick, and he'd probably breathe fire or something terrible like that, and, well, Selina would get burnt. So she came up with a plan, like I say, and she took her trusty catapult and a note scrunched up in a ball, and she walked all the way up to the hill and up to where the pond was, but not too close, just to the edge of the woods that looked out onto the pond. And she stood there with her catapult, and she stretched back the leather with the little note inside it, and ping! Off it went, up, up, up into the air, down, 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 and landed beside the pond. Now, Draco heard the little scrunched up ball go beside his pond, and he thought, oh no, not another night. So he came out of the pond, and he pulled himself out of the pond. Up he came, up out of the pond, and he roared and he shook himself off, and he couldn't see any night at all. In fact, look this way, he looked that way, and he could see no night till he looked down beside the pond, and there was a tiny little note. Now, Draco, with his longest claw and his tiny little dragon front foot, opened up the letter. And he looked at it, and it said, "What are you looking for? Can I help? Love, Selene." Goodness me, thought Draco. Nobody had ever bothered to ask him what he was looking for. No, had they? No. And so he thought, how can I reply? I don't want to get too close to those humans because they're a bit unpredictable with their sharp things, their sharp pointy sticks. I know what I'll do. I'll write a note back. And so he took, what did he take, Firestar? He took some bark from a tree. Okay, so he took a great big piece of bark off the tree and he put it down on the ground. And then what did he do? He scratched a message in it. Oh, fabulous. And he said, he told Selene exactly what it was that he wanted. And he shot that bark back down the hill towards Selene, because although he couldn't see who had sent the message, he could see where it had come from. And so the bark sped down the hill. Down the hill. And thump, it landed in the forest. Now Selene was very lucky because this piece of bark was the size of a cart, and she was lucky to avoid it, but she managed to jump out of the way just in time. And then she saw where the bark had come to rest. She saw the message that Draco had written, and she laughed. She knew exactly what to do, and she knew she could help, didn't she? Yeah. So she went back to the village and she said to the villagers, quick, 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 bring me. And she told them what to bring them. They were very secret ingredients. Bring me all of these things so that I can make this pie. It was a pie that Draco wanted. Make this pie for Draco. The villagers thought Selene had lost it. But okay, no problem. No problem. They were going to try and do it because they'd got to the point where they would try and do anything to get rid of this dragon, wouldn't they? Yeah. And so the next night, when the moon was high and full in the sky, Selene started to bake, didn't she? She did. And what was it she was making? Apple pie! A dragon's favourite. Ah, I see. So she got all of the apples and she chopped them up and she stewed them with sugar and spices. Oh, like that. And then she made some pastry. She rolled it out. It would have to have an enormous rolling pin to do that, didn't she? Yes. She rolled it all out, she did. And then she made it into a pie in the biggest pie tin she could find. It was almost as big as a pig trough, wasn't it? Yes, it was. And then she put it into a big fire. because the oven wasn't big enough, was it? No. A big fire, and she cooked it. And when it was good and golden brown, then she took it up with the help of the other villagers, because it was very big, wasn't it? Yes. She took it up to the roof of the bakery and she put it up the top. And there, the steam arose from that pie. All the spices mingled in the air. I can smell it now. Oh, I'm hungry. Oh, it's all right, Firestar. We'll have some apple pie after this, yes. And the steam rising and the smell in the air. Oh, it was amazing. It was, yes. And Draco, he smelt that pie. And this time he didn't go around all the different villages trying to find out where that pie was. This time he came down to Selene's bakery roof. Down he came and he saw that pie. Down he came and nom, nom, nom. The most delicious pie he had ever had. Yes, a dragon's favourite, apple pie. And now, every month, every month, because once a month the moon's very full and round, it's called a full moon. Every month, Selene and the villagers make an enormous fruit pie, don't they? Yes. What do they make it with when they don't have apples? Plums. Oh, they're nice, yes. And what else does dragons like in there? Red currants. Oh, red currant pie and rhubarb. Oh, yeah, it seems to me that dragons like a lot of different fruit, don't you? Oh, yes, we love fruit. And they make this enormous pie and they put it on the roof. And Draco comes to eat the pie once a month. And he never, ever has to come out of his knucker hole to bother anybody ever again, does he? No. And now he's actually quite a peaceful dragon, isn't he? Yes, he is. Very peaceful dragon. And so that is the story of Draco and the apple pie. And if you go outside on a very clear night when there's not many clouds and it's just dark enough, you might just be able to see what looks like tiny stars, but it's actually all those diamonds in the back of Draco. One apple pie at a baker's shop, round and round with spices on the top. Along came Draco the dragon one day, ate the apple pie and flew away. I hope you enjoyed that story. Did you enjoy that story, Firestar? Oh, I loved it. Thank you. Oh, I'm so pleased. I'll be back later in the month with another dragon story, won't I? Yes? Yes, you will. And you'll have to have a think about which one it is that you would like, won't you? Okay, Firestar? Okay. Right. So, thank you very much for joining me for this story. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you later in the month. Toodle pip.